The story was set into motion within the quiet walls of a high school classroom. Inside, two teenagers were seen entangled in a moment of intense activity, shielded by four walls, unaware of the nightmare unfolding outside. A deafening silence was broken only by distant screams. The apocalypse had begun. The undead had already taken the city. Through the dusty window, a group of zombies had been observed staring into the classroom. Among them, a familiar face was noticed. A former classmate of the girl, now reduced to a shell of who she once was. No remorse was felt by the girl. The boy in her arms had once been the crush of her friend, but that no longer mattered. When their moment ended, a light reprimand was delivered by the boy. His name was Kutaru. He had noticed her gaze drifting toward the creatures outside. A playful apology was offered by the girl, Kana, who claimed she couldn't help herself. To lighten the mood, a pair of fake cat ears had been placed on her head, bringing an uneasy smile to Kutaru's face. Despite the horror outside, Kana's energy had managed to cut through the tension. Still, a shadow passed over her expression as she recalled how her parents and classmates had been turned, and yet her sorrow was fleeting. Moments later, with a mischievous tone, she leaned in closer to Kutaru. Though her words were teasing, the loneliness behind them had been felt. Kutaru could only wonder how such a strange paradise had been found amidst such chaos. We're taken into a flashback, back to the vibrant chaos of the Nakatsuka festival. Kutaru stands awkwardly at the entrance, greeting guests in a way that makes everyone wonder if he's nervous or just weird. A group of girls nearby giggle among themselves, curious about his odd behavior. Among them is Kido Kana, reintroduced as both a karate expert and an elegant dancer. Kutaru silently admires her, struck again by how beautiful she is. One of the girls praises Kutaru's skills in FPS games, while another asks what their booth is even supposed to be. Just as he begins to relax, a teacher calls for him. He apologizes and tells the girls they can try playing shogi until he gets back. Left alone, the girls explore the booth. Kana's friend spots two boys behind a bush, one crouched awkwardly near the other's waist. Suspicious, they sneak up, expecting to catch them in a prank. But what they find is terrifying. One boy is being bitten. His attacker lifts his head, blood dripping, eyes empty, a zombie. Meanwhile, Kutaru walks down the hall, thinking the girls were cute, hoping to talk more later. But when he opens the door to meet his friend, he's greeted with a gruesome sight. His friend smiles faintly, whispering, "Looks like my popular phase finally started." He's surrounded by three girls. Except they're not girls. They're zombies, already tearing him apart. Kutaru freezes. His nightmare has only just begun. Kutaru stands frozen, unable to process what he just witnessed. His friend, surrounded by girls, wasn't having a romantic moment. He was being devoured by zombies. The horror paralyzes him, but instinct kicks in and he runs. As he rushes out of the room, he expects things to make more sense outside, but instead, the nightmare only deepens. The entire school is in chaos. Screams echo down the halls. Students run in every direction, only to be caught and torn apart. Kutaru stares, overwhelmed, trying to convince himself this can't be real. Are people eating each other? From a distance, he hears someone shouting. A classmate holds up a torch, trying to scare the zombies off, but she's already been bitten. Another girl notices the wound worsening, panic spreading through the group. Then, in the most bizarre twist, a boy seizes the moment to confess his love to Shibata-sensei, thinking the world is ending. But before she can answer, she transforms, biting into him without hesitation. The scene is pure madness. Meanwhile, Kana and her group are being surrounded. Kutaru watches from afar, torn. Should he run and save himself or try to help? He makes a decision. Charging into the fray, he manages to reach Kana and pulls her away just in time. In a moment of desperation and emotion, she clings to him and says, "I love you, But Kutaru doesn't stop. Noa-san is still trapped. He turns back, determined to help. With the aid of a teacher, they take down one of the zombies. But it's hopeless. There are too many. Noah is lost. Kana grabs his arm, urgency in her voice. If you're brave enough to help others, you shouldn't die here. She leads him to safety. They take refuge in a nearby room, hearts pounding, breathing heavy. Kutaru sits down, haunted by guilt. He couldn't save Noah. In the silence, Kana gently asks him to sit closer. Her voice trembles as she confesses her feelings, and then she reveals the truth. She's been bitten. Kutaru stares in disbelief at the bite on Kana's thigh. He asks when it happened, reminding her that the other girl who was bitten turned into a zombie almost immediately. Kana lowers her gaze, clearly shaken. Trying to lighten the moment, she confesses something personal. She and Noa-san had made a silly pact. They agreed to brag about their future boyfriends to each other, even sending playful selfies and flirty messages. Kutaru, confused, asks why they would do that. Kana admits it was probably her way of making sure Noah wouldn't drift away from her once they had partners. But now, with so little time left, she sighs. She's going to die without ever being in a real relationship. Seeing her sadness, Kutaru gently reaches out. Their closeness quickly turns into an intimate moment, full of urgency and emotion. For Kana, it's both overwhelming and deeply moving. Despite her fear, she feels a mix of pain and warmth that soon turns into something more comforting. Time slips by. Later, they both realize something strange. Kana hasn't changed. The bite mark has vanished. They stare at each other in disbelief. Kutaru wonders if she might have antibodies that make her immune. Kana laughs nervously, wondering if their physical activity somehow had a healing effect. She recalls reading a manga about a legendary healer in a fantasy world who could cure others through unconventional methods. One by one, he saved powerful heroines and built a harem. Kana jokes that maybe Kutaru's white soldiers carry the cure, and that he might just become the savior of women in this zombie apocalypse. As they consider testing this wild theory, Kutaro wonders how they'd even get the chance. They're still surrounded by zombies. Until it's safe to escape, they decide to stay hidden and keep exercising just in case. The next morning, Kana wakes Kutaru with a soft kiss on the cheek, sweet and tender, like a girl in love after sharing such a deep first experience. Suddenly, a loud thump breaks the moment. A zombie slams into the door of the room where they had been hiding. Without hesitation, Kana rushes over and knocks it out with a single, powerful strike. Kutaru, stunned, wonders if she's always been this strong. It turns out the door had been left slightly open. Kana had unlatched it earlier to quietly check the situation outside. Fortunately, the zombies were distracted by the school's alarm system, making it the perfect time to escape. As they plan their next move, Kana suggests heading to her school. It has food, electricity, and solid security, an ideal shelter. Kaotaru lights up at the idea. It's an all-girls school, and he fantasizes that this might be the start of the harem life he's always dreamed of. Kana snaps him out of it, asking if he's ready to make a break for it. Though the undead begin gathering again, Kana kicks the door wide open, and they sprint out together. Kutaru feels a strange comfort. If he's with Kana, maybe he won't die so easily. Meanwhile, a voice echoes through the school's emergency system. All communication is down, no phones, TV, or internet. The message urges everyone to stay hidden and survive. Later, we see Kana and Kutaru inside a clothing store. Kana tries on different outfits, proudly showing them off. Kutaru enjoys the moment, but questions if it's right to be there without permission. Kana shrugs it off. This had always been her dream, shopping with someone she truly liked. Kana invites him to pick out something too, stepping back into the fitting room. As Kutaru browses through the racks, marveling at the flashy, gal fashion, he suddenly interrupted. Two zombies, possibly former store clerks, appear. He hides immediately, holding his breath. If you made it this far, you're definitely one of us. Want to see the full manga breakdowns? No cuts, no filters, no boring black bars getting in the way? Then sneak over to our Don't Tell Senpai Patreon. Over there, we go without filters. Full manga videos, a wild, like-minded community, and stuff we really can't post here on YouTube. Links in the description. But remember, don't tell Senpai. See you on the other side.